Hello and welcome to the rather awful Doctor Who episode guide, your wholly dispensable guide to every single episode of the 1960s children's television series Doctor Who.
Whether you're baffled by Moffat, or you've spent the last 26 years trying to stop the catharsis of spurious morality, you're bound to learn something new and entirely untrue about Doctor Who.
So sit back, relax, and munch on a jelly baby as we teach you some things about today's episode.
Rose.
Alternative title, Clive.
Plot summary.
A camera crashes into singer Billie Piper's apartment from space, but it's all a dream. In London, Cardiff, Rose Tyler experiences a series of time jumps that take her from the beginning of her day to the end in less than 2 minutes. Confused, she goes to visit the one man who might know what's happening, Graham Norton. Following the sound of his voice, she ends up in the basement and discovers the horrific truth of her workplace, that they've spent too much on shop window dummies that they don't need. The bosses at Henrik's decide that Rose can't be allowed to live, but just as the dummies with guns in their hands are about to karate chop Rose to death, she's dragged into a lift by a random Mancunian who threatens her into silence and commits a serious terrorist act right in the heart of Cardiff, London. Rose returns home where she implicates her belligerent boyfriend by getting him to dispose of evidence from the crime scene. The next morning, the Mancunian decides to break into Rose's flat and libel some celebrities. A plastic hand, controlled by the power of angry classic series fanboys, attempts to kill both the Mancunian and Billy. The Mancunian reveals himself to be Doctor Who from the 1970s TV series Doctor Who. He also reveals himself to be unable to answer the most basic questions. Rose goes to see her boyfriend for a light spanking and to log on to Gallifrey Base, where she immediately finds a middle-aged man keen to talk to her about Doctor Who. He shows her his fan art, while her boyfriend Mickey gets eaten by a dustbin. Mickey is replaced by a grinning Lenny Henry character, and having been made to watch Chef during his time off in the 90s, the Doctor decides the best thing to do is rip his head off. Rose enters the TARDIS to find that its interior is now disguised as a public convenience. The Doctor and Rose head to London and play tourist for a bit, before breaking into the London Eye. The Doctor and Rose are distressed to discover that Mickey is still alive, and the Doctor argues with a war monster from 1980s children's game show Nightmare. The globby nesting consciousness switches on the London Eye illuminations, while in Cardiff, Rose's mum is menaced by Autons, whose mission is to kill off any old-school Doctor Who fans they can find. Remembering Victoria Waterfield in Fury from the Deep, Jackie tries to scream her way out of trouble, but is almost killed by Auton Bright. Rose saves the day by recalling her time as Buffy the Vampire Slayer's stunt double, and the Doctor causes his second central London explosion in 24 hours. Now a major terror suspect, the Doctor decides to leave rather than explain himself, but not before adding the slow-motion abduction of a teenage girl to his list of crimes.
Episode Trivia.
Clive's claim that the Doctor's constant companion is death was an attempt by Russell T Davies to lure the late Sir Terry Pratchett into writing a Discworld crossover episode.
This episode was leaked to the internet ahead of its transmission by Michael Grade, who was hoping fan complaints would get the series cancelled before it had even aired.
As part of the BBC copy protection system, the leaked pilot's musical score was so loud that it was almost impossible to hear the dialogue in the episode. Unfortunately, no one remembered to turn it down for the actual broadcast.
Not wanting to waste the CGI budget, the sticky bin lid was achieved by heating the plastic immediately before filming. Due to the resultant third-degree burns, actor Noel Clarke now has no fingerprints.
Christopher Eccleston's audition for the role of the Doctor was so good it was expanded into the ITV series The Second Coming, although due to licensing issues, the character of the Doctor was changed to Jesus. A similar audition was held for David Tennant, called Casanova.
The consequences of the breast implants coming to life are dealt with in the unofficial adult parody series Doctor Screw, also written by Russell T Davies.
Camille Coduri, believing she was a bigger star than she is after being in Nuns on the Run with Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane, and King Ralph with John Goodman, would only take part in the programme if she was supplied with a brand new Juicy Couture wardrobe. Luckily, the production team felt this was perfect for the character and happily obliged.
The series was promoted with trailers in which the Doctor asks the audience, "Do you want to come with me?" This was toned down from Chris Eccleston's original suggestion of, "What the hell are you looking at?"
Deleted scenes.
The script contained a moment in which the Doctor looks in the mirror and sees Richard E. Grant's Schalke Doctor staring back at him. This was cut as it was deemed too scary for younger viewers.
The scene where Jackie Tyler tries to seduce the Doctor was trimmed down, cutting the moment where he explained there is no chance between them as he's already set his sights on her daughter.
The original script had Clive asking the Auton dummies for a selfie, and the lead Auton pointing to a sign reading "No Posed Photos" before shooting him in the face.
To help with the launch, the BBC spent millions getting Johnny Depp to play the part of Wilson, who was to be an occasional character for the series. However, Depp's insistence on interpreting Wilson as a creepy Michael Jackson impression was deemed unsuitable, and he was hastily written out. Undeterred, Depp saved the performance for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory a few months later.
A line cut from the end of the episode revealed that Zach Lee was the name of the hamster Mickey gave Rose for her 18th birthday.
A deleted scene explained exactly how the newly regenerated Ninth Doctor was able to visit Dallas on the 22nd November 1963, Southampton in April 19th, 1912, and Sumatra on August 26th, 1883, without ever stopping to look in a mirror.
In the first cut of the episode, the Doctor failed to understand Rose's hint about the London Eye for a full 10 minutes.
The scenes shot outside Rose's estate were originally set to feature a young Clara Oswald playing forlornly with her leaf, but Jenna Louise Coleman was unable to get the time off school.
Paul McGann did film a regeneration into Christopher Eccleston, but when the episode was found to be overrunning, the regeneration was cut in favour of the burping dustbin sequence. Thanks for listening to the rather awful Doctor Who episode guide. It was written and performed by Pete Dillon Trenchard and Tim Dawkins. If you enjoyed it, why not leave a nice comment on our Facebook page at facebook.com/ratherawfuldw. And if you didn't enjoy it, why not direct nasty comments to our Twitter at ratherawfuldw. Stay tuned for exclusive news about the future of the rather awful Doctor Who episode guide.
Next episode coming soon, we promise.
Hi, Pete here. I hope you enjoyed our special episode to celebrate 10 years of New Doctor Who. Where has the time gone? Speaking of which, we know it's been quite a long time since we released any rather awful Doctor Who episode guides. But the good news is that we're currently working on what we've decided is now Series 2, because of our inability to stick to any kind of regular release schedule throughout the year. We're working on 15 brand new rather awful Doctor Who episode guides. We've already written 3 of them, and I can confirm that although these might not be the first 3 to go out, the first 3 we've worked on are the long-promised Mask of Mandragora, the Daemons, and Bok Help Us, the Web Planet. We're hoping to release these in the summer at some point. We don't want to start releasing them until we've got most of them done, because then we can just release them on a weekly basis. But if you follow us on Twitter at ratherawfuldw or like us on Facebook, facebook.com/ratherawfuldw, we'll be posting regular production updates and maybe even a few teasers here and there, just to keep you updated on what's going on and when the next episodes are going to come out. It will be soon, we promise.